My next guest is also tough. Please welcome in Dan Geltrude to the show. Thanks, Dan. Real quickly, summing that up, I think the sands are shifting beneath our feet much faster than even the Fed is taking consideration of. And I think this economy is in terrible shape.
Well, there's no doubt about the fact that our economy is quite fragile and also vulnerable. And this is why I believe that Jay Powell is trying, and I'm going to emphasize trying, to pull off a soft landing by not going all out a la Volcker and really shocking the system with a huge increase in the interest rates. He seems to want to chop away at it. But you know what, Scott? It's feeling like death by 1,000 cuts. So until we wake up and realize, or I should say some other people wake up and realize, we're certainly awake, that this problem of inflation was self-inflicted and it was brought out by bad policy. Now, we still have the bad policies in place, but yet we're trying to tame inflation by raising interest rates. It's not the right formula, but this is the path that we're on, and there's no escaping the pain that we're going to be feeling going forward, Scott.
I agree with you, and I hate the fact that I agree with you, right? Because I'd like to disagree with you, but I'm going to say one thing. The Fed's really only got a couple of things they can do, and that's, let the balance sheet peel off and/or hike interest rates. I just think that the economy is like a petulant child, and the Fed's like a bad parent. Okay, and they came out and raised 0.75% on Wednesday. When I don't think it really mattered, number one, but number two, it was an unprecedented, more aggressive hike than we were thinking was going to come. I know some people had 0.75 in their game plan. But it was like they were punishing their kid for bad behavior at the wrong time, right? And so I still feel as though this economy is not doing that well. And look, I just mentioned the Atlanta Fed coming out with their GDP now. It was 0% growth for the second quarter. Now, if we miss it all on that, I mean, Dan, can you believe that I'm sitting here talking to you about this? We're going to be raising rates aggressively into a recession. I mean, I'm 35 years in the business. I've never even contemplated that. We're raising rates right now into the fact that people's savings are going down. Their credit card interest rates are going through the roof. I mean, everything bad is happening to the American consumer. And here we are on this one path of almost like we're trying to hurt ourselves. It's like self-destruction.
It is. Here's the thing. The way the Fed is looking at this, there are only two options. We stay in an inflationary period, or we push ourselves into a recession. Now, both are terrible results. However, the Fed is looking at this and saying a recession is better than inflation. So the way to get us into a recession is destroy the economy through raising interest rates. That's the path that they're taking, and they're going to keep doing it. So again, Scott, what nobody seemed, at least the people in charge, what nobody seemed to realize was that we had a supply side issue.
True.
And they focused completely on demand.
Right.
Missing the boat 1,000%.
Okay, and then this is missing the boat another 1,000%, right? Let me just throw this at you because you can tell I'm getting a little bit angry. But I have the key to the kingdom. This would solve all the problems, or at least 70% of them. You know what that is, Dan? Now we've seen a little bit of it today with the crude oil crashing. But if we got our energy policy under control and brought down energy prices precipitously back to something livable, that would take about 60 to 70% of that inflation sting out without putting all these people on the street with job losses.
You are exactly right. And that's the whole thing here, Scott. Energy impacts everything. So that's what's behind this. And we can control it. We can go back to being energy independent. So why don't we? It goes back to what we've been saying all along. Bad policy. And until we reverse policy, forget what the Fed's doing. Until we reverse policy, we are going to be in a terrible economic situation. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you and I have to call balls and strikes. And that's the way it is.
And unfortunately, that's how I feel, too, because I don't see anything that looks to be improving. Nothing. And now the people that felt wealthy because of their 401ks in their homes, take those out of the equation. And then have them go to the pump and then to a restaurant or to the grocery store. And anything else, by the matter of fact. You know what? Here, let's play a game. The game's going to be find me some baby food, okay? Where is the good news in this economy? I get called doom and gloom all the time, only because I'm calling ball and strikes, Dan. And so here we sit, and you and I both know what's on the horizon. But I think job losses in that non-farm payroll report by September, October-ish, sorry. And I think we could see a rate cut next year.
Or how about this, Scott? Along the lines of bad policy, we start seeing that unemployment number going up. What are they going to do? Start handing out more money for people to stay home and not work.
You're right. Oh, my gosh. What a recipe for disaster. This is just, it's a bad book, and I just want to hurry up and make it end. All right. Dan, that was awesome content. You are absolutely right. We're both on the same page. I really appreciate you coming on a Friday. Thank you very much. Dan's coming to us from Nutley, New Jersey. Thank you, and have a great weekend. Now here's